Hey guys, there is a new beef in the chess world. Anishgiri versus Hikaru Nakamura, and what adds more spice into this is the fact that they are both playing in the upcoming Candidates tournament. Candidates 2026 will be held from the end of March until the middle of April on Cyprus. I will be covering this event. Very much excited about this. I'm currently recording podcast episodes with some of the participants. Already recorded one with Anish Giri and Wei E. More will hopefully come soon. So of course I had to make this video to analyze this beef. What exactly happened? Let me tell you briefly what happened. So first of all, there was a scheduling conflict between, and there still is actually, it hasn't been resolved yet, between the Esports World Cup and the Grand Chess Tour. The Esports World Cup obviously is the biggest event in the world of esports, held once per year, and last year was the first time ever that chess was, as a sport, was included in the esports program. Magnus won it, predictably. Who else? But this year, this will be the second time. But they clashed, the dates clashed with the Grand Chess Tour, which is probably the most prestigious tour among chess events, at least over-the-board events. There are several events spread across the world among top players, mostly super jams, the best of the best are invited there. Fabiano Caruana, Pragnananda, both are playing in the candidates. They are playing there. Also Alireza Firouzja, also Maxim Vachier-Lagrave, and many other, not many other, but some other top players. They are all playing Grand Chess Tour, and one of the most important events of the Grand Chess Tour is held on the same dates as the EWC final, Esports World Cup finals. The Grand Chess Tour announced the dates in advance. It was done actually last year. And somehow the EWC organizers probably they could not avoid this clash, or they did not care. Maybe they decided, okay, this is some offline chess tournament, doesn't matter, we don't have to respect that because we are a cyber sports event, and chess players who want to do both, well, they need to choose. But actually they cannot even choose because to my understanding, they signed a contract with the Grand Chess Tour organization founded by Rex Sinfield and I think Garry Kasparov, and they are contractually obliged, like Fabiano is obliged to be there to play the event, the Grand Chess Tour event, so he will not be able to participate in the EWC finals, even if he qualifies, which is quite likely. I actually think that it's quite likely that Fabi, being one of the best chess players in the world, maybe in history of this game, he probably will qualify for the EWC finals, but he probably won't play unless they figure something out. And that's the background, because one day after this happened, Hikaru Nakamura recorded a video where he said that it's a good thing, actually. He said it's a good thing for chess because all the time the same top players are invited to these elite, prestigious, closed events like the Sinfield Cup, which is one of the tournaments of the Grand Chess Tour, and other events that are held throughout the year. There are almost never any new faces. So the guys who are playing there, maybe sometimes they rotate, sometimes some youngsters get invites, but they are youngsters who are close to 2800. For example, Pragnananda. He is young, of course, but he's already a veteran by admission of many members of the elite, I think. Fabiano said this, that he considers already Pragnananda a veteran of the sport. And yes, it's true. I remember Prag already played Magnus in 2021 in some online events, and already back then he was close to the top. So, and Hikaru says it's good, it's competition. Of course, some players will have to skip the EWC finals, they will play Grand Chess Tour events, but then other players will have the opportunity to show their skill in the EWC finals. And he said this is the part that caused most controversy and probably caused most outrage from Anish Giri. He said that those players, they don't bring in any viewership, to be honest. That's what he said approximately. He said maybe Alireza Firouzja would bring some viewership, but other guys, no. They don't really bring any viewership to the EWC finals. Hikaru said. That means that their, let's say, opinion is not too important for the EWC organizers. Probably that's what he meant. And that, of course, upset Anish. And let me read the tweet that he wrote after this. So he posted this tweet. He says, Hikaru keeps saying how he alone brings all this viewership, because yeah, Hikaru said that he of course brings the viewership, being a popular streamer, and Magnus is the main guy who brings in the views. And yeah, that's just a fact. Magnus is the most popular figure in chess by far. People who don't know anything about chess know about Magnus. They unfortunately very often don't know who Fabiano Caruano is or anishgiri, even though both are excellent chess players, amazing chess players, and yeah, but the general public not always knows about them. So Anish writes, Hikaru keeps saying how he alone brings all this viewership, but honestly, even an ad I did for my website did barely worse on my completely inactive YouTube channel with 15x less subscribers than most of his recent videos. Hikaru's recent videos. Grow bigger or be nicer, Hikaru. That's what Anish wrote. Well, in my opinion, it's not a very correct metric to compare views of one video with views of several videos on YouTube, because yeah, that's not big enough sample size. There can be some outliers. I know that Hikaru's YouTube channel is quite popular and some of his videos reach hundreds of thousands views, some even reach millions. So, which is not the case for Anish, but Anish chose this particular video and compared it. But still, fair enough. He said that on YouTube, Hikaru is not as huge as all others combined, probably. That's what he meant, because Fabi also has his own YouTube channel, C Squared Podcast, and also has quite some popular videos. I think a better argument for Anish would be to give not his own YouTube channel, but Fabiano's YouTube channel, because Fabiano's views are close to Hikaru's views on YouTube recently. That would have been a stronger argument to make. But still, I think Anish missed something, the fact that Hikaru is mostly known as a streamer, not as a YouTuber. And that was the argument that Hikaru used in his, let's say, rebuttal of this tweet. He wrote on Twitter, "Nice rage bait attempt. I've never said I bring all the viewership," mentioning Levi and Magnus recently. "My comments about viewership relate to live streaming, not long-form YouTube content. Failing to understand the difference shows a complete lack of understanding. Do better." So that was the comment from Hikaru. Well, fair enough about live streaming. It's a different thing, even though it's quite tough to measure the true numbers of how many people watch the live streaming content, because live streaming platforms notoriously don't have too good statistics for external viewers. But definitely Hikaru is number one, or at least has been for quite a long time. Probably he is still number one chess streamer worldwide. I don't know how big of a difference his viewership would make to the EWC event, but probably some difference it would make. Okay, and I like it that Emil Sutovsky, who is the CEO of FIDE, responded there, "Guys, you have started TED too early. 6 weeks to candidates. Kindly delay views measuring contest up until the next week to the start. It will be much more engaging then." I agree, but I think this is like a warm-up. They will continue, I hope, trading blows, so to say. Okay, now the next tweet. This is not the end. Anish responded, "The problem is not the bad views. The problem is that you are attempting to backstab your colleagues just to increase your chance of finishing second at the EWC." Well, that was that was a blow. That's a hint that Magnus probably will win, and Hikaru can hope only for the second. And Alireza, in Anish's view, could have taken this spot if he was allowed to play instead of this clashing of dates. Now Anish says, "That is not nice, and I am not scared of your mob. It is not a big mob, as everyone can see." So that was Anish's blow, counter punch. And then Hikaru responded, finally, "Hilarious. Chess players always going to think that everything is about strategizing. There is no guarantee I'll even finish in the top 4. But have fun raging on Twitter or going after people in Facebook DMs who are no longer with us. And clown emoji. This is hinting at anishgiri drama allegedly going after Daniel Naroditsky. I don't know, I have no confirmation about this. These are just rumors, but Hikaru is hinting at this. So using all arguments he can think of to attack Anish, which is maybe a good strategy. Here, I think what's funny is that chess players actually, in my opinion, very often think that many things are about strategizing. I think this is some like pattern of thinking. If you play chess, you are prone to both strategizing and also to finding this pattern in others, seeing some strategies in other people. Well, that's my opinion. Some people might say this is total BS, doesn't work like that. Maybe you disagree, write it in the comments, but I think to some extent it works like that. And yeah, I don't know whom to believe here, and I don't know whom to support. I just find this whole conflict good for chess actually, because it brings more drama. It makes Hikaru versus Anish in the candidates an even more exciting clash when they face each other over the board. They will play 2 times because each player will play 2 games against his opponents in the candidates. So there will be 2 heated chess games, I think, and maybe they will continue trading blows in the social media. I'm wondering what you think, what you guys think. Write it in the comments. Your opinion is always what interests me, and maybe we can continue discussing this. Whom do you support? Write it in the comments and let's discuss. And I'm looking forward to the candidates. I definitely. See you in the next one.